Welcome to the Journey of Growth podcast, episode 38. I'm ThE, the host of this event, which was created so myself and others can share perspective of it in hopes that one another's insights will be relatable, establishes awareness, and inspires listeners to adopt and maintain such behavior. The definition of growth is the process of developing new skills, attitudes, actions, or reactions that can have a beneficial impact on your life and increases your overall well being. If you would like to be a guest on the show, which can result in an enhancement of self awareness and identity, you're invited to do so by reaching out to me on Instagram at Kite Raps or on Facebook through Facebook Messenger at Kite Smith. Today's Today we have a new guest on the show, and hopefully he'll be able to grow within this unknown, unexpected experience with myself. His name is Mr. Devin Wessell. Hello, Devin. How are you?
Yo, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you asking. For those who are unaware of who you are, what can you tell me about yourself?
Well, uh, what I can talk about is I work in SF. I work at an aquarium, and I'm also a program coordinator at a nonprofit tech program called Gameheads. And I'm also a co-founder of an entertainment company that we're currently noted for working on the Jack docu series.
Hmm. Wow. And I hope that your series will be broadcast nationwide so that other people can appreciate your project. Um, my next question is, um, what what would be your perspective on the concept of growth?
Well, growth overall is a big term, um, but how I'd like to uh, at least tackle it is just working on it and overcoming it. So, you know, growth means you're going up. So going up as positive, as realistic as you possibly can, and then just learn from your mistakes if you've made any. I mean, we all make mistakes, it's human. So, just uplifting.
Hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And I am committed to growing as an individual because it seems that energy goes one direction or the other. And it seems the opposite of growth is decline or
Mhm.
detriment. And I choose growth.
Yeah, no, I definitely choose it too. Like, you know, you gotta grow.
And which leads me to the next question. How are you currently growing?
Well, I would say on a personal and public level is just learning, how to turn my dreams into a reality.
Hmm.
So, just pretty much utilizing every single minute, every single second, every single hour, uh, as much as I possibly can. So that means, networking, um, working on what I'm passionate about, and also obviously having time for my jobs because I need to work. So, but just finding time to also do my creative ventures, which I have a lot. So.
Hmm.
I have a ton of stuff in my head, like a ton of stories that I've written over the years. Some of them are more fleshed out, some of them are still being worked on, but, like, I have a lot of stuff,
Mm.
like, a lot.
I hope you will be able to achieve the objective of producing these stories that you have written or um, hope to write eventually.
Yeah.
What inspired you to become a screenwriter?
Honestly, I just like telling stories. I love stories. I love writing. I love, um, being able to, create a world that's, like, in my head put it on paper, and then either turning it into a video game or a film. Ideally, I like them both. So it's like I'm one of those people I like to bridge them both.
Mhm.
So I like to do both regardless. So if someone's like, "Oh, what do you like over the other?" I like them both. They both give me um, the same pleasure, um, you know, in like the bigger picture, I guess you can say. So I just as long as I'm creating either film or video games, I'm happy.
Mm. And one way that I assessed if I appreciate the initiation of doing an activity is the process of doing it.
Mhm.
What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy in the process of writing a script?
Um, what do I enjoy? I enjoy honestly just uh what's it called? Bringing literally kind of what I said before, but it's like bringing what's in my head down onto the piece of paper
Hmm.
and then just kind of like breaking it down even but breaking it down even more. As in if I have a character, right, I like to create backstories and then those backstories can play into the core story or like I might have certain aspects of the main project that kind of what is it called? Kind of back what is it? Backtrack. Oh my god, I'm trying to think of that term. You know what I'm talking about, right?
How would you describe
uh,
the
pre-
word
it's pretty much it's the word where oh,
flashback?
flashback. Yeah, I just couldn't. I knew it was something back, but yeah, flashbacks. Yeah. Um, but like one of the things I like doing is making my flashbacks uh, kind of do um, more storytelling within it. So then once somebody sees the flashback, I might even have the flashback where it's longer than usual. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like the project kind of backtracks a little bit and
Hmm.
then cuts back to reality. So it's like I said, it depends on the project. But
Okay.
one of my particular projects, I 100% do that.
Hmm.
Where it's like it's a lot of it, a good chunk of it is told in a flashback, but then it cuts back to reality.
Hmm. How would you describe, um, or what can you tell me about a script that you've wrote that included a flashback moment?
Mm, I had this one story where uh, pretty much it was just this dude that's really going through something, and you don't know what he's going through until I put on the flashback, and so it was kind of like the core story is you're just like you're seeing this kind of like I guess you could say depressed person, and my whole thing was I wanted the viewer or the reader to like understand or kind of understand the character but wanna know more, and then I give you more, like, kind of like, I guess you could say quickly, but I do it in a environmental way where I have the environment, playing the flashback versus it cutting kind of to a flashback, if that makes any sense. Like, picture a mirror or something like that, and then you have the main actor or like I said in this case it's writing but you have the main character they're like looking at let's just say they're looking at a mirror
Hmm.
and within the mirror is its own universe so the mirror is the flashback so
Mm,
the main character is watching the flashback but
mm,
what's it called the main character doesn't know it's a flashback. It's the reader that knows it's a flashback because it transitions into the mirror.
oh
So
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of do like like I said, it's like environmental storytelling. I guess you can call it.
Hmm. That's interesting, and that's a unique way to formulate a flashback versus a cut to scene scenario, which I appreciate.
I even did one project where what's it called? I have it where it's told by the cameras are mirrors, so
Yeah.
it cuts it cuts to different cameras, so it's like, the actor's walking or whatever, the main character's walking, and then the mirrors are kinda like wherever a mirror is placed is going to be the view of you when you're, like, looking at it or well, like I said, in this case, it's reading it, but, um, I'm one of those people I like to make it to where you can visualize everything I'm writing.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I think of it as you're watching it, but you're still reading it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I need, like, um, I need, more of, I guess you can say, at least a development team for that like, those types of projects and stuff like that.
The visualization of
Ye
your
yeah,
script.
yeah, because 'cause I'm one of those people, I can write it. I'm one of those people, I just can't, like, you know, and so, I'm not trying to, like, tie it into everything, I'd rather have that be, like, a kinda like a separate thing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, it's like, "Oh, when I get to it, I'll do it." But I know
Mhm.
people enjoy it because whenever I drop a lot of my writing on my website, because like, a lot of my website stories are stories that I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna drop it or I'm just gonna release it." I just want people to read it, so
Mhm. Um, I I I believe that I know you say that you need someone else to do it for you, but I do sense in the realm of possibility with practice and repetition,
Mhm, mhm.
you could taking an initiative, you could start to enhance your skill to present that in a way that someone else could do it, and it may surprise you too because if for me, like I don't mind others assisting me. Um, Sometimes it's challenging to experience an outcome that is exact and precise in terms of a tangible thing, um, seemingly without me doing it myself,
Yeah, yeah. I
such as like visuals for me.
Mhm.
So, and sometimes, in the realm of possibility, you may get assign someone a project and it doesn't come out to your liking. And then if that doesn't work, what do you do in that
Oh, that's
situation,
happened. Oh,
right?
yeah, that's happened a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, a lot of the because I've done some game jams, and
Hmm.
so, yeah, I've ran into that too.
You say you done
I
some what?
game jams.
What's a game jam?
So, so pretty much game jams are a bunch of people, you're working on, like, different games. Whoever's in charge of it gives you like a either a question or a prompt, and then you have, like, either a week, 2 days, it depends on what the organization or who you're doing the game jam with,
Hmm.
assigns it, and then you pretty much make your teams up. So, like, let's just say, I'm a narrative designer, and I, like, hit up people on a chat or whatever, like, "Hey, let's form a team, blah, 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 blah." And so you get on a team with a group of people, and then you make a game, and then once you finish the game, you showcase it, um, like, on whoever the person that's running it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, 9 out of 10, like, the last game I worked on was really cool, and what is it called? The word was, like, helping hand, or the phrase was helping hand. So you had to
Hmm.
create a game about, pretty much helping people, and so, uh, the team I was on, it was only, like, 3 or 4 it was, like, 3 or 4 of us. Um, I did the story for it, but it was pretty much about this rock that, was trying to get back to his family because he got lost, and so he's trying to make his way back to his family. So, yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, it was really cool. Like, I sometimes, go back and I replay the game, just to see how long it takes me.
And for me, because I write
Mhm.
lyrics, uh, and I reflect on my childhood and being exposed to experiences that inspired me or motivated me to want to emulate the experience at the time. Were there were there films or shows that you were exposed to in your childhood that inspired you to want to become a a screenwriter? And if so, what were they?
Hmm. I'm trying to think project wise. Like, I honestly I watch a lot. Like, I watch a lot. Um, I would say at least one film that no matter what, I can always watch it any given time, any given day, just legit watch it. Is Say Anything with John
Hmm.
Cusack.
Hmm.
Like that film by far is like one of my favorite films of all time.
Hmm.
Um, it's just I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's just good. And, when I was younger, I would just watch it, and I'd be like, "Oh, I wanna be," you know? It's like, "I wanna be like that,"
Hmm.
get the girl and all that stuff. Uh, play the little boombox outside the window, but, like, hopefully it's on a good cause or a good reason why I'm doing that versus, because of what happened to him in the film. So, I mean, I've always wanted to do that, so
Hmm.
yeah. That's kinda I guess you could say that's a childhood thing. It's like when I was a kid, I was like, "Ooh, I wanna do that."
What genre of what was the genre for that
Mhm.
film?
The genre? It was I honestly, I would s I off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it'd be considered like a drama slash like, like a rom-com, I guess you can call it a little bit that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those who are unaware, your hometown is Pacifica,
Mhm.
California, and you are the first Pacifican that I've had
Oh, nice.
on the show. So I I like culture and I like geography. So what can you tell me about Pacifica from your perspective?
Well, I lived by the beach, so I was, like, in the valley. I lived, if you know where Lindomar, shopping center is, I live, like, right across the street from that.
Hmm.
Like, I lived on DeSoto, and so anytime I go back to my hometown, it's like I always drive by that house, the old house, even though they, like, repainted it. There's this one tree that's not there no more. Like, they did you know, a lot of touching up. So, um and then on top of that, it was just, like, whenever I was there, like, when I was a kid, uh, it was shoot, there was, like, nothing to do except ride your bike and, like, hang out with people. Like, that was it. There was nothing. Oh, and I mean, get on the bus to, get out.
Get out of Pacifica.
Yeah, at least, like, Daly City and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I lived in the valley, like, Pacifica's pretty big.
Okay.
Like, I just lived in the valley area, so, like, once you go over the incline, boom, you're there.
And what can you tell me about your childhood?
Mm, is there anything specific?
Just don't know. It's an open ended question.
I mean, I would always go outside. Like, I
Hmm.
was outside all the time,
Hmm.
um, and I really enjoyed the weather, I'm not gonna lie. That just the way the weather was, it was like I got used to the cold. So, like,
Hmm.
then when I moved out here, it was, like, really hot, or at least hotter, um, and so, yeah, just, I did have I yeah, I had quite a bit of friends while I was, when I was younger, so we would all hang out in, like, there's just, like, one area, um, like, down the street that we would always hang out. We all had our bikes and stuff,
Hmm. What high school did you go to?
Terra Nova.
It's called Terra Nova.
Yeah, it's, like, in the back of the valley, but, like, more, I guess you can say left, or yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's in the back of the valley.
And what's the name of the school
Mascot?
mascot?
Oh,
Mascot.
Tigers.
Valley.
Tiger. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What's the high school colors?
What is it? Gold and black? Pretty
Oh, some
sure.
nice colors.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
sure gold and black. Yeah. Like, I'm one of those people. I always get confused if it's like yellow and black or if it's gold and black.
Mhm.
But it's one of those 2 it's definitely one of those 2 colors. Yeah, when I was in high school, I did a lot. I did drama. I was a water boy for the varsity football team.
Mhm.
Um, it was hella fun, I'm not gonna lie. I got to go to free games. I got to be on the field because I didn't wanna, be in the stands. I wanted to be on the field, but I didn't wanna
Yeah.
play 'cause I was always afraid people would, like, lift me up. 'Cause, I remember, it was, what was it? It was, PE. One of the substitutes was the, football coach, and he was just like and we were I guess we were playing football for PE, and he was just like, "Hey, Devin, you have a really good, throw. Do you wanna be a quarterback?" And I looked at him, and I was just like, I'm kinda short. You sure that's a good idea?" He's like, "Oh, yeah," we or he was like something about our linebackers and stuff like that, they'll protect you." And I was just like, "All the time?" He's like he basically was like, "Yeah, they'll protect you. They're, like, really good." And I was just like, I'll get back to you on that." And so I just became a water boy instead.
Okay.
But no, I was like, yeah, they really liked my throwing arm. I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, I was just like, I'll be a water boy."
Do you is how valuable or how significant is the water boy role on for a sports team, high
Okay,
school sports team?
okay. When I was on it, I took it serious. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was like I took it serious. Um, so literally, at least from my knowledge, there has not been a water boy that like did kind of like how I did it
Mhm.
because I remember before I started, I think I went to one game. It's like it was like staggering. Like they kind of one time like they sometimes had a water boy and then no. But when I was there, it was like there was always a water boy. And so um like what was really cool about it though, was everybody liked me. Like everybody on like all the players really liked me, the coaches liked me. And so like just imagine this, like, little short kid just, like, standing next to, like, hella tall people, and I'm, like, holding, I'm holding they were heavy, like, they were heavy. I'm not gonna lie, they were heavy, and so just imagine me standing by the coach, like, getting ready, so as soon as he, like, calls timeout, I just run. So, yeah, it was fast paced, I'm not gonna lie, it was fast paced, but if I looked at I looked at the other team's water boy versus me, I was like, "I'm the best," so I was like
That's cool. I've
yeah.
never met someone that was a former water boy.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Like I said, you can obviously tell what one of my other favorite movies is.
Oh, the
Waterboy.
water boy.
Yeah. I
For
remember
the
I was like, "I could relate." I could definitely relate. Except yeah, because like I said, he wasn't gonna play, but then he eventually started playing. But yeah, I didn't start playing, no.
did you play any sports in high school?
Uh, like, actually play? No, not really, no. I was more of like, I'm gonna pass my classes, graduate, and get out. But, like, I still, did stuff on the side. Like,
Mhm.
that was the main thing I did on the side was the water boy. I did that consistently. I think I did it for, like, either I think I did it either all 4 years or I did it at least 3 years. But, um, yeah, besides that, I was a stagehand for a lot of the plays.
Mhm.
Um I just like being a stagehand, so I was
Mhm.
just like, I get, free shows, free plays because I actually have to work it. So, I remember for the Princess Bride, one sequence I had to be the water or at least like, throw the blanket onto the other side, and then we had to go like this to like do the water because it was like a blanket.
Mhm.
So every time I watch that film, I'm like, ooh, I was the water. So
Would you theorize your experience working as a stagehand in high school being part of the reason why you wanted to be involved in the entertainment industry as well?
potentially, honestly, I never thought about it like that. That could be potentially why. Because I was just like When I was in high school, I was like, I never really, whatchamacallit, uh I didn't go home until I finished until I finished all my homework. I just
Mhm.
made sure I finished it before, because I knew if I go home, I'm probably not gonna do it. So, I literally stayed sometimes, I think on campus until, like, 7 p.m., 6 p.m., or something like that. Like, I
Wow.
would stay late because I just as long as I got my homework done, I was good. Or if I finished it during there's, like, this homework period that I had, but I make sure I finish. And I got
Mhm.
good grades, so I was just like, I know I'm smart enough, so yeah. So that was definitely high school was definitely interesting.
Did you go to college?
Oh yeah. I went to Berkeley City College, where I got a AA in animation and game design,
Mhm.
and then I transferred to SF State where I got a cinema degree,
Okay.
a BA in cinema.
Mm. How did you enjoy the process of getting how did you enjoy the process of learning game design?
It was cool. I wanna say, like, I'd started I did more of the, like, game design stuff, uh, later into, when I was getting my AA in animation and game design,
Mhm.
'cause, I started off doing more, like, animation and, like, drawing and stuff like that, and then gradually it got into, like, where I was able to, like, make games and stuff.
Mhm.
But then I found, like, my passion in writing, in one of the game design classes.
Mm.
Because, we were able to have, like, partners and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and so, the partner was like, "Oh, yeah, you can do the story, and I can work on the engine stuff if that's cool with you." And I was just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you're cool with it." She's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And so that kind of, like, opened me up to, like, "Oh, this is really fun."
Mm.
Along with when I joined Gameheads, as a student, like, yeah, it definitely made me interested in video games.
What can you tell me about that particular project where you took assumed the role of writing the script for that project in school?
Oh,
Were
yeah, what's it called? I think it was, this is I think it wa honestly, I think it was one of the first projects I ever wrote in my life, like, one of the first ever, was a zombie apocalypse project,
Mhm.
and so, we made a sequence. It was just really like a 3D world, and, you were just picking up I think you were just picking up, like, coins and stuff like that, and, like, zombies were trying to chase you, and the zombies were, they were, what's it called? The the zombie, hotel guy in the zombie I think it's like Frankenstein or something like that in Hotel Transylvania. The hotel, like, the clerk dude or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
So,
familiar with that.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
we use his character model. We use
Mhm.
that character model as the zombies. So just
Mhm.
imagine those zombies are the ones that are, like, walking, that are, like, kinda, like, walking towards you, like,
Mhm.
yeah, so it was pretty cool. That kinda, like, opened me up. Like, the full narrative wasn't in that I, like, wrote, but it was still cool to see, that something was there, you know?
So um just to confirm what you're saying, your responsibility was to script the character for the the game, and so you chose that character that emulated one from a film.
So, I did, like, the story aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, my partner, what they did was they did they at least grabbed the model, imported the model and all that, and then did, like, the walk cycles and everything like that. I
Hmm.
was just tasked with, like, writing the story along with, seeing if there's ways we can, like, implement the story into the game.
Hmm.
And so we were able to implement some story. I just can't remember off the top of my head what directly it was because it was for an assignment. So it's
Yeah.
like we got a good grade in the assignment, so, we did something.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know like just vaguely like what the story was about?
I okay, if I can remember, I okay, so originally I was trying to do it for the zombie apocalypse story I kinda came up with, but what it kind of turned up into being was kind of like you're collecting coins
Mhm.
and, like, a zombie chases you, and I believe, like, more zombies will start chasing you the longer you're grabbing the coins.
Mhm.
So kinda like one of those types of games. But it was
Okay.
like it was like 3D, like, it wasn't like top down or anything like that. It was like,
I got you.
yeah,
My next question is you are a part of a production company.
yeah.
And so, what can you tell me about your production company?
Well, we are, uh we're doing a lot of big things, I'm not gonna lie. Um, but, like, just in general, joining the team was a dope experience because I found people that, I could vibe to slash, work well with, and so all of all of us our brains are more or less, we all have our, like, strong suits and stuff like that, and so as a team, sometimes it's hard to find that
Hmm.
when it comes to individuals because, like, sometimes there's, like, people you don't vibe with, but, like, the team I have is, like, we vibe very well together,
Hmm.
and so that was, like, one step, and then on top of that, we just wanna work on dope projects, like, that's literally what we wanna do. We wanna work on dope projects that are, Bay Area based, um, and, well, at least I would say West Coast based, but, Bay Area, heavily, and so, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Partially.
Yeah.
What's the name of your production company?
Right so, right now, it's a Dream Movie LLC, so, yeah.
Okay. And how did you encounter these individuals?
We were working on a or they were working on or, well, I would say 2 of the members were working on a different project, and this is around the time, I was still in college, and what happened was one of the members hit me up, was like, uh, "Hey, you wanna join the team?" And so I was like, "Okay, yeah, for sure." And then I joined the team, and then here we are. Fast forward, we're, like, still working together.
Hmm. And what was the project that you guys were working on that when they introduced you to the team?
It was like a dance film, like, a street dance film, yeah, it was a street dance film.
Is it complete?
Um, we had to take a break. We definitely had to take a break on that project. We one day we hope to come back to it, but yeah, right now it's on a well-deserved rest. But like I said, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen, but hopefully, you know,
So that's for people who are unaware of film production companies. This could be insightful because if someone was considering creating a project, this demonstrates that unexpectancies can happen, which can stall production from being complete. So, how did this or why did this production ex- experience a delay?
well, it was like a multitude of things, but you know, like I said, it'll probably happen. Um, we just, you know what I mean. We had to move to different things, so yeah. We definitely had to move to different things, and it was really good we did because, now we're in a way better situation, so,
But can you elaborate on it? And you don't have to be
Mhm.
specific, but it's just like in generalized, like why can a circumstance like that happen?
Well, you learn, like, you just learn from it. You learn who you can actually work with or who you work well with, and then you just continue being around them, and once that happens, you know, the project will basically make itself if you have a team that can also if you have a team that can work on it. So, it's more of like, not everyone you meet is, um like, gonna be on your side, you know what I mean? So it's like, just surround yourself around people that, can uplift you and, you can finish something.
Okay, so it seems
Mhm.
like in that situation there was an issue with commitment from individuals who
Yeah, yeah,
did not who is not as consistent as yourself.
yeah. Like, let's just say I can at least say this. Let's just say one person let's just say you're trying to get a meeting with somebody, like, consistently, and all the person does is they don't get back to you, but they see your message, you can tell they see your message, but they don't get back to you. Like, sometimes there's a time where you're just like, "Oh, I have to just stop this," and
Mhm.
you'll come back to it, or at least maybe come back to it, but you don't dwell on it, and also you learn from it, and I'm one of those people that no matter what, I'm always gonna, like, be like, "Hey, I'm sorry this didn't happen," even if it's not my fault, even if it's not my fault, you know,
Mhm.
because I'm just one of those people. I'm like, you don't know what other people are going through. Sometimes
Mhm.
people won't like, a lot of people won't tell you what they're going through. You've you might like, we live in the age where we find out on social media what people are going through,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
You can just jump on Netflix. I mean, sorry, not Netflix, but you can jump on, like, Instagram, Facebook, or, X, Blue Sky. You can see what a lot of people are going through,
Yeah.
but you don't actually know what they're going through. You can just at least interpret what they're going through. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I'm just one of those people, I don't dwell on nothing. I'm like, if we come back to it, we come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the type of person that, focus on the
Mhm.
opportunities at present and, engage in those experiences
Exactly,
because what's not happening is irrelevant.
exactly.
um and so I think you had told me that in terms of your partners who are a part of the Dream
Mhm,
Movie
mhm,
company, each one um, specializes in various aspects to help sustain um, the company.
mhm.
So, what can you tell me about the other partners and what are their how are they contributing to the business?
Well, one of the members, they're really connected with just, like, the whole atmosphere of actors and, you know, people like that, and so we have one person that's really, like, fully connected, that's able to at least, be like, "Oh, hey, this is how we should do it, blah, blah, blah," kinda like, I guess you could say, like, a reasoning. Then we have one member that's, like, completely, like, passionate over the subject, that's we're all leaders in our own way, but, like, that person takes, like, they kinda, like, take charge in a really good way, in a healthy, beneficial way, and is, like, basically, I guess you can call it a historian, like, they know everything about the subject matter, like, or at least a good chunk of it.
Hmm.
Um, and then me, I'm kinda like the person that's, uh let's just say there's a internal argument or something like that. I'm like the person that, like, balances everybody, and you know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking to you, like, I understand your reason, I understand the other person's reason, I'm like, "What can we do to, like, kind of combat it and, like, move on?" But, like, you know, like, stuff like that. So, like, I
Hmm.
get so the mediator, yeah, the mediator, that's the term, the mediator. So,
Okay.
eh yeah,
And so you guys are currently have a trailer for the
mhm,
documentary online on YouTube, where if you want to access that, I think you can. For listeners who want to access that, you can. I think you can go onto Devin's website. I mean, not, his Instagram page,
yeah,
where there are.
I yeah, I
Um,
have the link.
yeah, there's a link to access the Jacket trailer. Um, is the project in terms of production complete
No, we're all I can say is we're working on it. But
and
yeah,
working on it?
we're working on it. It's
Okay.
yeah.
And so in term so like when it comes to a documentary, what what when I think of a documentary, I think of it as a not scripted, but maybe it is. So like is are documentaries scripted?
And more or less, it's just really what questions are you asking, and then, a bunch of annotations,
Mhm.
and then coming up with, like, what makes the best sense, like, what question like, let's just say there's a specific question I'm asking, and what would look good visually, and then tying in clips and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's like it just make what makes it most compelling, like, let's just say one episode is about, the upbringings or something like that, like, when it comes down to interviewing, you ask specific questions, and then from there, that's kind of like there's a lot of people that are, like, really good when you ask a question and their answers work, so you just gotta figure out what works.
Mhm. And I saw on Instagram, I think it was on one of your partners' pages
Mhm.
that they were filming in, I think it was Burbank, California, for the documentary. Is that where it was?
Except Burbank. I'm trying to think of the post.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was for Recro Reels.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. We've been shooting in quite a bit of locations. That's why.
Okay,
Yeah.
were you on site in that
Uh,
Burbank shot?
no, I wasn't on site on that one.
Okay, what are some of the locations you've been to?
Uh, the one that I've been to, well, I don't know if I can really disclose it right now. That's the thing, because it's
Okay,
like I want it to be like a
a
surprise. You know
surprise.
what I mean?
Okay,
But I've been on a set though. I've definitely been on one set
okay.
because I've been really busy during the other sets. So
In terms of getting interviews for the documentary, how would you describe that process?
it's just really context. It's who do you know? Like, it's who do you know, and are those people good at getting back to you? And if they like you, they might be like, "Oh, hey, let's schedule an interview." So it's like it's kind of like that type of thing. Or it's like if you have history with them, as in like, oh, they've seen me blah, they see me working on blah blah blah. They've worked on blah blah blah. I helped them. So it's like kind of like, who do you know?
Hmm.
And honestly, sometimes people just come up to you and like be like, "Hey, well, I heard you're working on this project. Can I get interviewed?" And it's like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up. We have to work things out. We can't just jump you in, right?" You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, yeah.
And are you, how hopeful are you that this project will be released?
Oh, I'm hella I'm so hopeful on this project. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. And plus the community is amazing. The fans, the family, the people I've met, the whole everything is just amazing. So I strongly am passionate that it will definitely come out.
Is there a way for the public to support this project? And if so, how would that be?
Mm, I would say follow for more, and then, honestly, just even if you comment, but we have a oh, hello? I think my
Yeah, I
thing
can hear you.
froze. Oh, okay. No, my thing froze.
You can
Um,
keep talking though.
oh, okay, cool.
Probably, hopefully, it was a
Oh, there we
delay.
go. Oh, okay. Okay, it's just tripping. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, no, where was where was I?
I said, how can the public support the project?
Oh, yeah, honestly, if you count my followers, get up, um, I we post a lot, so it's like just staying active with our posts too, because we post a lot.
Are you talking about on your page, on your
Oh,
personal page?
I mean, I get, what's it called? Tagged and stuff like that. So I repost whatever we're posting. So you honestly you can follow me too. So
Um, what are some other potential projects that you are planning to work on?
some of my short stories. I have a lot of short stories. So I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to, well, what I said in like in the past, the conversations. I'm just trying to narrow down certain ideas, seeing which one people really like. Uh, at least the what I mean by people like is, if you go on my, like, WordPress and stuff like that, you
Mm-hmm.
can see it. So, like, I only post, like, certain stories. I don't post everything. Um, and then I'm trying to, like, narrow it down to see which one I can turn into something. So, like, eventually, I'm gonna, you know, make some of them either a short film. I'm aiming to do more short films versus, like, feature films. Um But I do have this one story that I've been working on for, like, 7 years or something like that, that I wanna create a teaser for it and a feature for it.
I hope you
So, yeah,
I hope you accomplish that goal. What can you tell me about that project, or how would you
uh,
describe that story?
I would describe it where, um, everything is inside your head that's happening, and you just gotta escape it. And so, will will the treatment that you submitted yourself to, will it help or will it not help you? And that's kinda the logistics.
And you said you've been working on it for 7 years.
Yeah, something like that. Because I tied in a lot of, my past into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tied a lot of it. It's basically more or less a journal, but I kind of dramified slash horrified slash thriller like, I did a whole bunch. I did a lot of genres within this universe
mm,
'cause it's a universe. This is just the start of it,
mm-hmm.
and, basically uh my like me I'm the main star. Like, I'm not going to act in it or anything like that, but like my uh basically it's my younger and older self. It's going to be in it. So yeah.
Hmm. So is this story alluding to some mental challenges
Yep.
that you experience
Yep.
from your childhood even till today?
I guess you could say some of today a little bit, but more it's more towards like childhood stuff. I put a lot into it.
Mm,
Like, because 'cause I'm one of those people when I'm writing, I'll get, like, really emotional into it, where
mm-hmm.
it's just like, you start tearing up because it's like, "Oh, I'm actually putting this down." I'm
Mm-hmm.
like it's like, "Nobody knows about this except, X, Y, and Z," you know? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, now everyone's gonna know about it," but it's like, whatever, because it's like, I'm really doing it for the character, like, my character. I'm not really I guess you could say I'm doing it for myself, but it's like I'm more or less doing it for the character because 'cause I'm like, "This character deserves this." So, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I like how you described you writing, and because what what I discovered from that statement is when one chooses to express themselves um, in a form of writing, you are now making transparent what is within. And if you are writing it down, it now becomes tangible and physical, which makes it possible for someone else to become aware of it. And that also demonstrates a willingness to not be secretive, and which, is a choice in itself. And I think sometimes people, I've read about secrecy, and one of the reasons why a person chooses to be secretive is they are attempting to control the perception of someone other than themselves.
Mhm.
For example, if a lot, a lot of times, people will, and I think you spoke about it earlier, when people are posting on social media, they are presenting themselves in a way that only is, what's the word? Only superficial in a way,
Mhm.
because you're seeing an image, but there's no, all not all the time, there's no particular backstory to what was the intent for presenting that visual expression on a social media platform. Like, I could um pose in front of someone else's expensive car and
Mhm.
post it on social media without providing an elaboration of what the visual actually is, and leave it with the intent to create a perception that, this is the car that I own. I have a lot of wealth and money, so you can validate me for standing in front of this car. But if I were to give you a uh if I were to elaborate and tell you, like, I'm standing in front of a car that I don't own,
Mhm.
then, it would become more authentic. And that, at that point, that could, I'm leaving myself open to potential scrutiny or judgment or um criticism. Like, somebody could say, well, why are you standing in front of someone else's expensive car? Which is, that's their choice, but that's fine. The reflections of life based on my actions are out of my control anyway.
Mhm.
So, um, going back to what you were saying, when you write something, you are presenting it. It is now visible to the world, and the world may see that, but you are, in a way, being vulnerable to other people in that moment, where you could have chose to be secretive and, try to control someone's perception of who you are versus, who you are presenting yourself to be, compared to who you truly are. And so I appreciate, what I appreciate about that statement is, um the value of writing things. You are, not only are you able to see, like, who you are internally, but you're also allowing other people to become aware of who you are through your writings as well. How relatable is that statement to you?
Oh, no, that's that's completely I couldn't, you couldn't said it any better. Like, yeah, no, like I said, um, I'm one of those people, like, I used to tell people when they're like, "Oh, how do you write so much?" I'm like, "I let the story tell me what to write, and I'm just the hand guiding it, because like, stories just come to me like nothing, like, it just comes to me,
Hmm.
and so whenever I write, I like to write more, like, relatable stuff,
Hmm.
um, versus, like, um I don't know how to describe it. It's I I like to try to attempt certain things that, like, aren't being covered, and creating an outlet, kinda like an outlet, at least for myself,
Hmm.
for it. And then, depending on what my story turns into, it might just be a writing exercise for me. I might not turn it into nothing, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, like, the ones that stick with me, I'm like, "Okay, how can I do the next step for this?"
Hmm.
So And, like, that's why sometimes I'll, like, submit some of my short writings to, like, different, like, competitions and stuff like that, and even if I get, like, a quote unquote "bad rating"
Mhm.
or whatever, I don't care. I know my story's good, so I'm like, "Well, who's" somebody might have paid, you know what I mean? Someone might have paid the competition to freaking boost the person. I don't know. I'm not saying that is the case, but I mean, if you have to pay sometimes $70 for these submissions, like, I don't know, like,
Uh, oh, there was another question I was gonna
mhm.
ask you. Are are you a believer that action becomes identity?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, so you're talking about in the sense of like, uh, what you're doing could become you type of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely 100%. Because it's like just kinda like you are what you eat type of thing, you know?
Mhm.
So it's like, you know, if you do if like, okay, let's just say, oh, you start running in the gym, you start going on the treadmill, eventually you're gonna learn to sprint, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you run enough, you're gonna be able to sprint. So,
Mhm.
it's more of like the repetition.
Mhm. What is some feedback, or what is some reflections of your initiating writing from others that you've experienced?
I think this would be a good one, I think. Um, Sometimes what I'll do is uh, I'll watch for inspiration, like, I'll watch films for inspiration,
Mhm.
and, like, let's just say there's a sequence I really like. Some of those sequences I might just turn it into, like, a story. Like, let's just say, um, there's a sequence where there's, like, a main character that's, like, going through something, but the way that they have, the memory is through, like, an environment, like I was telling you earlier. So, sometimes I get, like, these, like, brief moments where I'll watch a film and there's one particular shot, one particular sequence that I really like that when I go back into my writing, I'm able to, like, kinda picture kind of like a whole new film.
Mm.
'Cause, like, that's actually that honestly, sometimes whenever I would go to the movies, I would always have, like, a story idea once I got out, like, always.
Mhm.
Now it's kinda like I'm kind of, like, really just enjoying the film, but, like, I would say, shoot, like, for this was more it was more, like, intense when I was, like, taking college classes, like, film classes and stuff,
Mhm.
because I was looking at, the making of it, and that kind of, like, helped me shape different ideas for, like, projects.
Mhm. But what I mean
Mhm.
particularly is based on the writings that
Mm, mhm,
you've other people have
mhm.
been exposed to. What have their responses been
Oh, people love
to
it.
your projects?
Oh, yeah, no, people love it. Like, I get good feedback where it's like I remember, it was one of my best friend's sister. She was actually one of the reasons why, I kept doing the zombie project was she would be like, "Yo, I'm reading it, I'm reading it, I'm reading it." I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah." And then she would kind of give me, I guess you can say, not trivia, but, like, she would be asking questions about my characters that I was able to answer because I created it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, what I did so differently, at least in that zombie project, was that, I have this one particular character, that kind of I mixed just crazy people into his personality, so, like, Trevor from GTA, the Joker, from Batman,
Mhm.
and I kind of, like, merged those personalities together and
Mm.
to make this, like, crazy ass character,
Mm.
and so, um, she would she would always ask me like, "Yo, I think he's gonna die in the next thing you post, like, the next because I would post the story in chunks. Like,
Hmm.
I would do, like, basically, I guess you could say it was episodic,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, she'd be like, "Oh my god, I think he's gonna die next," and I'd be like, "I can't spoil it," and so she read like, damn near all of it. I was like, "Oh my god."
Wow.
So, because it's like, when people ask you questions about your project, like, I can only imagine when, people are asked about, like, let's just say, um, freaking Stranger Things or something like that. Like, when people notice you and like, "Oh, hey, why do what inspires you?" Blah, blah, blah. Like, I love when people ask me questions. I love it. I love it. When it comes to my particular project, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I love it.
And what is some feedback that you've gotten from your partners in terms of your productivity and contributions to your film production company?
I mean, shoot, it I'm trying to think of how to, like, narrow it down into, we're like I said, we're all, strong in our own way. So it's like you can definitely see the contribution I provide, you know what I mean? My contribution, like, it's obvious, just like with all of our other all the other members, like, all of our contributions. Um, but, like, I would say probably with mine, it's more of, like, uh helping things not get super escalated and, like, when things seem like they might get escalated, it's like it's easily kinda like, "Okay, this isn't gonna escalate that far." I'm talking about, like, inner stuff, 'cause it's like, sometimes, um, you might just have, like, a tiny little disagreement just talking-wise, and then the like I said, I'm one of those people, I can, like, talk to people and, like, get everyone to kinda, like, calm down. So it's like just kind of being the like I said before, being the mediator.
No, what I
Mhm.
mean is, what have what are some expressions that they've told you as individuals that demonstrate appreciation for your efforts in your involvement in the company? What are some statements that they have said to you?
I mean, us in communicating, or we're communicating to this one person that's, like, been really cool to communicate with, and, mainly it's because of, like, I would always hit this person up just to, like, be like, "Yo, I've seen this, I've seen that, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen it?" So, like, just active communicating with this particular person, that's kind of kept the contact, close to us, and
Hmm.
then them able to, like, just, you know, offer very helpful suggestions,
Hmm.
that's, like, very much been super beneficial to us.
Hmm.
So I'd probably say that is just keeping up communication with, um, like, others, and then that's just kind of funneling and helping us like, helping us all as a whole.
Okay, so your willingness to engage and
Yeah.
interact with
Yep. Yep.
um,
Exactly.
potential um, potential cast members or even um, backers for projects
Yeah, you
demonstrates
could say that. Yeah, you could say
s-
that.
a sense of appreciation from your fellow coworkers
Yeah,
through your consistency.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say it like that.
One
Mm,
suggestion that I would
mhm.
make in terms of potential projects
Mm.
is I have a YouTube account and I do not pay for the premium service because it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as a result of that, I'm subjected to these uh, uh, commercials when I'm using YouTube, when I'm watching something on YouTube. And I just think they're so generic and superficial. When I listen to, like, it could be from different types of companies, but they all sound and look the same. It's like, are they employing the same people to make uh all these commercials? They're not funny, they're not stimulating. I think there is a market for some more like high quality commercials that promotes small businesses as well. So I would suggest being considering um, reaching out to small businesses in the Bay Area and inquiring if they would be interested in uh, your services and making productions for them, and then transferring or uploading these commercials to like a YouTube or somewhere. Because I mean, I grew up in the '90s, and commercials were so much better back then. You know, they were funny.
Mhm.
The scripts were written really well. I have conversations with my coworkers and peers from that time, talking about certain scenes that had happened. Like I remember there was a scene like it was even before my time, where it was like OJ Simpson running through an airport, and jumping over chairs and babies and all this stuff to make his flight, because he was running late for the plane departure. And I just thought it was simple, but it was good. And I just think like the quality of commercials have gone down so much that there needs to be a renaissance in commercials if we're going to be subjected to watching commercials.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna move on. The next part of the the segment is the interpreting expression segment.
Mhm.
So for those who are unaware of the interpreting, I'm sorry, it's not interpreting expression segment. This is the multiple intelligence theory. So for those who are unaware of the multiple intelligence theory, when it comes to intellect, there are two popular theories. One is more popular than the other. The more popular theory suggests that we as individuals have three forms of intellect. And since this is the more adopted theory, especially in academic institutions, we are tested on these intellects, which would be mathematical slash logical, linguistic slash writing, and naturalistic slash scientific. And in high school, and we in order to be admitted to the next level of college, we take the SAT exam, and depending on how well we perform in the testing, we can then go to college. And this is based off of this popularized theory of these three intellects. However, there is an alternative theory which suggests that in addition to those three intellects that I mentioned, there are six additional intellects that we as individuals have. And those six additional intellects are musical, existential, interpersonal slash people smart, bodily kinesthetic slash body smart, intrapersonal slash self smart, spatial. Spatial is the ability to engage with physical three-dimensional objects in the world. This theory was presented by a This theory was presented by a theorist named Howard Gardner. And I like to talk about this on the podcast because people, individuals may be unaware of this theory, and some people may have low self esteem or lacking confidence because they may not have high degrees of math, writing, or scientific intellects, but they may have high degrees in others. And when it comes to intellect, it seems the intellect can be grown and enhanced through practice and repetition, such as a basketball player. If they go to the gym and practice shooting free throws, the more you shoot, the more your skill set increases. And this type of behavior can be applied to other forms of intellect. And if people are aware of these various intellects, this can boost morale and self confidence through inspiration and motivation to want to engage with activities that can uh, enhance their enhance themselves through their intellects. So, with that being said, Devin, of the nine multiple intelligences, which one or more do you sense you have high degrees in?
I would say probably interpersonal, because it's like, just from my understanding, it's like, uh, you're understanding yourself, and it's kind of like based on how you feel and, what your needs are and, what do you want.
Yeah, that's all right. What else are there? Are there any else?
Um, I was thinking about it, like, now that, like, I don't know if this is the correct way to say it, but the whole, it's spatial, right? You said spatial for
Spatial
the
intelligence.
visual, like, um, at least from my understanding or what it sounds like when you're walking around, you're just seeing things differently, but, like, because I don't know if this could be considered the same saying, but I remember when I was, like, younger, sometimes I felt like I was always in a video game.
Hmm.
So, like, every time I was walking, the only time I remembered I wasn't in a video game was when I sat down. But when I was walking around, it felt like I was somewhere else. And it kind of like it when I was younger, it helped me kind of get through things is
Hmm.
because I was able to kinda, like, shift my brain into believing I'm in a video game. Kinda like Sims, like, I would it would I'm clicking certain things or my body's going certain places, um, but, like, yeah.
I'll I can give you an example
Yeah,
of what spatial intellect would be. Spatial intellect would be well, I can tell you
mm,
individuals who demonstrate high degrees of spatial intellect, and those would be people who are um, interior designers, architects. Um, I would say even gamers to a degree, because even though the game is virtual, you still need to use um, physical objects
yep,
to orient objects within the virtual world. And when it comes to the three dimension, the third dimension, space matters. So if you overcrowd things, then things become cluttered, and there's no room for growth, right? Or to
mhm,
maneuver, like such as in a video game. So, and you could probably relate to this when it comes to
yep,
game design. Um, if you if you're trying to build a pathway in in a two-dimensional video game such as Mario Brothers, if you create a wall that at a certain point in time, if you build a wall that's vertical going from top to bottom, that inhibits the path that's going horizontal, left to right, then that the space is now stopped, which prevents the character from proceeding on that pathway.
mm,
So,
mm,
um, but in order to build something in the second dimension, you need to use a mouse or a cursor or a pad to um, create these types of environments. Or even with art, like someone who's a painter, if you're trying to paint a picture and you're trying to add certain aspects, or well, not aspects, but if you're trying to add certain elements for a complete picture, you have to be aware of where to place certain visuals. So like if you wanted to have um if you wanted to draw a picture of a house and one part on a piece of paper, and you wanted to add certain things at a certain point in time, as you add more things, space starts to become decreased,
Mhm.
where the page will be at a certain period of time, the space will be filled up the because of all of the things that you drawn on the picture. And so if you wanted to add another image on this piece of paper, you may not be able to visually because there's no more space. No more open space, such as like a white area
Mhm.
amongst areas that are drawn with black ink, right?
Mhm.
So that would be examples of spatial intellect. Do you sense you have do you sense you're able to do you sense you have a degree of spatial intellect?
Well, now that you broke it down like that, I mean, I could, like I said, I can see it because I'm good at when it comes down to explaining things, bringing, or at least from, um, from like you're saying with the like when you brought in the video game
Hmm.
reference.
Hmm.
Um, when it comes down to like certain things I'm picturing in my head, I'm able to also like maneuver it and bring it into like a platform or something like that. Whether it is um, mainly, I would say probably like pixel wise because I can draw like pixelated stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so or like how we have AI now, like we can ask a prompt. So I've been getting better at explain like getting whatever my prompt is actually representing the prompt.
Hmm.
So like sometimes I'm like let's just say I have a dream or something like that, and I describe the dream. I'm able to actually potentially see the character that I saw in my head. It
Hmm.
might not be as accurate, but it's gonna be close enough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, before you weren't able to really do that. And like I have a dream journal, so it's like I can easily just, figure out, be like, okay, let's just see if this will match what I was thinking in my head.
Hmm.
So I hope that answered the question.
Um, I mean,
Mm.
it's that's
Yeah.
up to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and so then, what did you also do? You also have, I mean, it would seem like you would have a high degree of linguistic intellect as well.
Yeah. 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 I was thinking of that one too. The finding the right words to express what you mean.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I definitely have that because it's always like even now, it's like I know what I'm trying to say, but sometimes it's like, how do I say it?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just. Hmm.
because it's
So,
versus versing. If you had a script, you can kind of like read it, but it's like sometimes when you're having a natural conversation, uh, I'm one of those people. I think way too much, so like I think way too much. But once I'm able to get out what my thoughts are, um, it's very helpful.
that's okay. I'm glad that you know, made that statement because that helps you. That's a step in growth because it helps you to be aware of yourself versus, not making that known. So, I by expressing where you are in your growth in terms of verbal expression, that helps me to be aware. And through my experience, I can share, you know, potential guidance on how you can enhance that. So, I'm glad that you said that. And I think for me, when in terms of expressing myself, I just try not to think about what I'm going to say. It's more of um, reacting intuitively based on what I'm exposed to, and refining myself um, based on what I sense as a result of what I'm saying. And we'll talk about that more because I think that is that that this what you stated earlier ties into our next segment. I think For me, in terms of my intellects, I think I do have high degrees of bodily kinesthetic intellect, and this is due to me um, engaging in exercise, which I do power walking, and I've through this through this exercise, I've learned a lot about myself intuitively because I've been intentional about not putting time constraints on my um, initiative to exercise. Where in the past I would say like, "Oh, I need to exercise X amount of time," and I think what freed me for from this concept of putting time frames around me exercising is that I realized that one, you know, if I put such an expectation on myself, unexpectancies can happen in at present. So if I say I'm going to exercise for an hour, I might get a phone call from my job saying, "Hey, like I need you to come into work." And then now my time frame of exercising has been cut short, and that could cause frustration for myself and all types of mental things I got to deal with. Where intuitively now I just go outside and I power walk to um, until I sense that it's enough, and there is no time that I set. It's just more of just an intuitive thing, and I think this helps me to become more aligned with, I think, life. I think life, I mean, outside of the human time construct, it seems like naturally there is no time frame in terms of growth and energy. I know, like, I don't see that in nature. It's more of something that is that man made. And I try to be more aligned with the natural world because I think in the natural world, precedes mankind, and it just seems like it's more of a stressless thing. The construct of time. I'm not saying that is bad, but it just seems like it's not necessary. For me personally. So I try to be more intuitive about that, and it helps me to grow my bodily kinesthetic intellect at present. Um, and so yeah, I just think the way to refine that is to make sure that you're unconditional when you're trying to grow your intellects, meaning that, oh, especially when it comes to exercise. I know, like, one of my friends said, "Oh, I'm not going to exercise unless there's someone there to exercise with me." I'm like, well, that's
Have
you're
fun.
kind of
Have fun.
yeah, yeah. You kind of like imposing a, it seems like an unconditional, I mean, unrealistic condition on yourself because, other people have obligations and they may not be around to, like,
Yep.
you know, be there when to exercise with you. I mean, if you're able to do it and you have an opportunity to do it alone, you know, why stop yourself from doing that personally? So I would say, make, and we'll get more into that into the next section. So we're going to go to the next section as we're close to wrapping up the episode. And if you have any comments or questions, you're invited to do so, and we'll try to address those issues, those questions as we go along into the podcast. So we're going to go to the next episode, the next segment, which is called the interpreting expression segment. So to describe this segment before we continue our conversation, each episode I like to present a an expression in the form of in a form of a written expression, and that can be a question or a quote that was relatable to myself, and I sense is of resource in supporting and inspiring growth in me. And um, so then after presenting it, I like to share my interpretation of the quote and also invite the featured guests to share their interpretation of the quote in hopes that one another's expressions will be relatable to each other as well as listeners, which can then use our interpretations as a resource in inspiring growth in themselves. So this is the interpreting expressions quote. So the today's quote is: be so busy, so disciplined, so focused that you have no time for gossip, comparison, or distraction. Um, so my first question to you, Devin, is how would you interpret this quote?
Well, how I interpret it is so busy. Honestly, it's like I'm trying to think of the correct term. Um, it's like it's like allowing yourself, even though when you're busy, um, to like limit your distractions.
Hmm.
So like zone them out, whatever helps you. But um, with your focus and the discipline on whatever the task is, it's just pretty much just like zoning it out. So you're just all you're doing is you're just focusing on the task at hand. Like let's just say it's to study for a quiz. Like you're gonna pretty much knock. You're gonna well, ideally you would want to zone out everything and then just lock in
Hmm.
on that one, on that particular task at hand.
Hmm.
So I would say honestly, it's just about locking in. So as long as you're able to lock in, you can complete anything.
As long as you're able to lock in, you
Yeah,
can complete everything. Okay.
yeah.
And how does this quote relate to yourself?
Well, I am very busy. Um, I'm pretty disciplined. I can definitely focus in. So with that, it's like I don't even really gossip or anything like that, honestly. Um, so I wouldn't say I'm like distracted at all by like
Hmm.
my distraction is my ADHD.
Hmm.
The particular, the side effects of having ADHD. That's really my distraction.
Hmm.
Like whatever people are experiencing with ADHD, I definitely got that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's my distraction. And then I just like I said, I'm like split brain where it's like I'll lock in and then like if something tiny comes on, let's just say the TV turns on for some magic reason, I'll be distracted for a little bit, but then I'll go back to locking in.
Hmm.
So it's like those brief moments.
um, how challenged are you with comparison?
What do you mean by that one?
How challenging or how challenging is it for you to not be in comparison with someone else in terms of how you conduct yourself?
No, I mean we're all our own people, so it's like whatever however I do something is not the way you gonna do it, and
Hmm.
whatever way you gonna do it isn't the way I'm gonna do it. There
Hmm.
might be like similarities, but it's not gonna be the same.
Hmm. Does that, are you alluding to that you are not uh affected by the temptation of comparison
Not really.
to?
Not really. I mean, I don't really compare myself too much to people when I'm locking in, like unless it's like somebody I look up to.
Hmm.
But then like part of me is just like there was like the I can't remember the exact saying, but it's like pretty much like look up to yourself, you know? Um, it was it was a phrase. I'm just trying to think of the phrase. Oh my god. Um, it was something about looking up at yourself within 5 years,
Hmm.
and then once it hits those 5 years, look at yourself in 10 years. Then once
Hmm.
you hit 10 years, look at yourself in 15 years, and then kind of just go off of that.
Hmm.
I can't remember who said it.
Hmm.
Oh, I think it might have been Matthew McConaughey, or
Hmm.
but yeah, it was probably him. I think it was him during a accept like he was accepting an award.
Okay. So was he suggesting that um was he encouraging being introspective of how you are conducting yourself over a certain duration of time and assessing your performance?
It, if I'm not mistaken, I think his rationale was like he was looking for like somebody to motivate him,
Hmm.
and so his mentor, or I can't remember if it was his mentor or somebody, they would say, you know, look at yourself in 5 years, and
Hmm.
then he would see it. Then he would, I guess, update him in 5 years. He's like, see yourself in 10 years. Boom.
Hmm.
He saw him in 10 years, and then so on and so forth. So it's like pretty much being who you are.
Hmm.
So it's like look at who you are and continue that.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. I think my
Mhm.
interpretation of this, and I'll repeat it, is be so busy, so disciplined, so focused that you have no time for gossip, comparison, or distraction. The way I interpret this quote is discover discover what is relatable to yourself in terms of the outer world and initiate engagement and experiences that would enhance your focus of those experiences and engagement of them to the point where you become unaware of insignificant or irrelevant experiences that are occurring while you are engaged in these significant and stimulating experiences. That's how I would interpret that. And how that relates to myself is I am a believer of the theory that initiation attracts reflection, meaning that when I initiate an act, that act will attract a experience that is reflective of that action, and that reflection comes in a different can will not be exact. It seems like it will not be exactly um it will not appear exactly as my initiation, but it will be relatable to me as an individual when I experience that reflection. Um, for example, I am writing a hip hop song right now, and it's based around a experience where I'm going to a another planet, and for a while, like I was falling in the temptation of discontinuing writing the song because it's just so unconventional and in terms of modern hip hop, but I disregarded that temptation and stayed focused on writing the lyrics because I was enjoying, what I was experiencing as a result as I read the entire verses in the chorus. I was like, oh yeah, I personally like how this is going, And so my initiation was the writing of these lyrics. And surprisingly, I experienced a reflection of um, my initiation in a different form, which was in a visual form. So if you notice on this segment, I like to present a visual that complements the the quote. And so in this visual, there is a superhero like figure that I think he appears to be focused on on bettering himself. But this visual came from a website, um, and on in this website, I was going through various other images, and randomly I came across this visual that was so similar to the lyrics that I had wrote days before, that it was like a spacecraft, and the spacecraft was like on another planet, and just the details of it is hard for me to describe verbally. But when I saw it, it just resonated with me so much that I was like, wow, this seems to be an exact reflection of what I've been writing. And when I saw that, it just stimulated me and inspired me to and affirmed my effort to um, stay focused on what I was enjoying in terms of writing this song, which has not been completed. And so um, when I experience these reflections of my initiations, it inspires and motivates me to continue down this course. And it's possible that I could tell someone that I'm writing a song about being on another planet, and they might, for whatever reason, due to lack of maturity or skepticism, may say something like, "Oh, that song sounds whack," or "You should stop writing that song. Nobody's gonna like that." But I'm not going to be distracted by such commentary because it's
Mhm,
irrelevant and it's not relatable to where I am and my growth and what I've experienced that's alternative to such a negative experience. And so to see that visual, um it was a pleasure to me, and that was and for me it's a reflection of my effort. And so these reflections help me to stay focused on staying the course of building towards achieving objective. So I'm not distracted by these unexpectancies that are irrelevant to what I am going through in the present moment. um And then when you talked about comparison, for me, it seems comparison, and I think you was alluding to this too. Comparison, I mean, growth is not comparable, especially if growth starts from within, which is not something that you and I can see. If growth is also based off of intention, which we cannot see, how can I ever compare myself to you? Like, you could tell me what you're going to do, or you can tell me what you've done, but even then if I haven't seen it, all I can do is just base uh base how relatable to what you said to me as being true for fiction. But me actually seeing it, that's neither here or there. So I'm not going to worry about comparing my achievements that I've done as an individual to anyone else. And I'm not going to uh, gossip about other people as well, because the to gossip about someone, it's not going to be a benefit to me, or it's not going to be a benefit to someone else, in terms of being supportive of someone and them bettering themselves. Like, I'm to be supportive of someone is it can't be rooted in gossip for me. Um and also like, when we talk about action becomes identity, if I choose to gossip about someone, I become a gossiper. And so I don't want to have an identity of being someone who gossips and talks about someone, which is a choice,
Mm.
So um, I don't, and so like, but I think when people choose to gossip, it seems like they are distracted from what they could be doing otherwise, which would be focusing on bettering themselves and growing themselves, which requires a sense of awareness of what's currently happening versus what they, think should be happening. And so that, yeah. And so when it comes to, and then also, when it comes to, bettering yourself, you have to be aware of opportunities that are provided to you at present. And if you're distracted, then you lose sight of those opportunities. When we talk about, um being under the influence of drugs like alcohol or marijuana, it's, for me, I like to use the analogy. It's like being driving a car with, uh like having a condensation on the windshield, but no windshield wiper, and trying to drive on the freeway. Like, you're like you may cause a collision, you may run into something, um and ultimately that was a choice that you made to get in that car and start driving this car knowing that, the condensation was on the windshield. But if you choose to, uh appreciate the opportunity of being sober, you can then become more aware of what's going on at present. And that's similar to driving in a car with a clear windshield and no debris or nothing in front of it. And so then you can then proceed a course of navigating to your destination or location without being inhibited by, an experience that you could have avoided otherwise. And that's why it's so important to be aware of opportunities. And like, for example, when I exercise, I appreciate the opportunity to exercise daily when it's not raining outside. I don't want to run outside when it's raining. And if I'm able to get up and out of the bed, and I sense there's a clear sky in the morning, and I sense that, I need to exercise, I maximize my opportunity through engaging in that opportunity. Um, and as you engage in a beneficial situation, I think that definitely eliminates the temptation of, being distracted too, as well. How would you relate to what I'm saying, Devin?
Yeah, no, I'm I completely agree. Like, um, yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm thinking on the lines of like, what can you do to like better yourself and stuff like that. And so, I even go to the gym too, you know, and
Hmm.
like I've noticed that when you're in the gym, um, you can like lock in on your workouts
Hmm.
versus, you know, um, whatchamacallit, versus having all this, like, noise in the background. Like, there's
Hmm.
noise going on, but you're locked into, your outcome.
Hmm.
So it's like that noise isn't even there at the end of the day. The only thing
Yeah.
you have to worry about is anybody working on the equipment I need to use at this particular time, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's like, but that won't stop you from, so you just find something else to do until you get the one that you wanna do.
Yeah. If there's an opportunity,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just move on to the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be patient for the next opportunity.
Exactly.
You may not be able to, exercise today due to equipment failure, but maybe you can grow in another aspect through, like, going back home and working on your writing, or, uh, grow through, communicating with someone, um, and developing a stronger bond and relationship with someone, like from a professional level. Like, you could, if there's an opportunity to, talk to someone that you networked with at a group gathering, and you haven't talked to them in a while, you could do that. Just it's just a matter of sensing the opportunities at present and not being discouraged when not an opportunity that you hope for specifically is not available at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we have reached the end of the journey of growth, episode 38. With that being said, Devin, what would your parting words be?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, just keep doing you. You know what I mean? This was this experience was amazing. I really like this. I'm glad. I like what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you decided to um, take the initiative to be a part of the show, which is an unknown situation. You've never been
Yeah.
a part of the show before. And from what I was told, our minds and even body operate at their optimum when exposed to an unexpected, um, unknown situation. So I sense, and it seems that you have grown in this experience. Do you sense you have grown as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then even a lot of the understandings that you've presented that like I was aware of them, but I never like fully understood it. But now I'm like I have a better understanding.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm glad that you have a better understanding, and I'm glad that you sense that you have grown, and that's the overall objective for the show is to um, present an invitation where both the featured guest and myself can grow through having a conversation in a unknown, unexpected situation. There is no expectations of how one should conduct themselves. It's more of just a free flowing, um, listening, intuitive experience. Yeah. So I appreciate everyone for joining the show tonight. Once again, if you would like to be a part of the show, you're invited to do so by reaching out to me on Instagram at Kite Raps, or on Facebook through Messenger. I'm on Facebook. I'm Kite Smith. I also encourage you to follow Devin, and so that you can experience his journey of growing as a screenwriter and a partner of a film production company. I hope his venture will have continued success, and I'll definitely be sharing his posts. I definitely follow him on Instagram. And if you would like to access his Instagram channel, there is a link in the bio on YouTube. Um, and so I appreciate you all. Tune in to the next episode. Um, Good night. And before I go, Devin, if you can hang around for 5 minutes after I end the show, we'll close out formally too.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all. See you again. Good night.